Esports, definitely a lot of top teams here just respecting Bren Esports, Mr. Jim, on this weapon battle.
Yeah, it is quite a common occurrence against Mr. Jim. He isn't allowed to play his weapon petal. Does leave Vox open, so that's going to be a first pick once again. We've seen Vox win an awful lot of matches, even against a Black Feather. So that's a pretty good pick for Bren Esports. Happy to get that, secure that Vox as a first pick. I reckon Bren Esports are going to ban Alpha as their next ban. It's a nice, easy ban. No reason to give it over to the side of Renegades. And I think unless Renegades decide to first pick the Alpha, I think that would be a fine decision. They're going to get the Arden instead, secure that captain for themselves, and the Lance ban's likely to come through.
Yep, it's either they ban out the Lance, if not then Lyra. Lyra just worked very, very well with that of Vox in the early game into mid as well. And the Bright Bulwark generally would stop Arden in a lot of his endeavors, if I would have put it that way. However, RNG really has got an entire roster open up for them. They can go back to the comfort picks of that of Adagio if they really want to, and it's just down to whether or not Bren Esports will just secure that of Alpha. But now the next pick after this ban will go over to RNG, so Bren Esports really have to think about their bans coming into this particular draft. We do see the Lyra being banned out by the side of RNG just to deprive Bren Esports of it. So we do see a Ryan being banned out. Easy
that's
Alpha.
Tempting. Yeah, that's tempting from Bren Esports. They have this decision of, okay, do we ban Alpha or do we try and pick it? They've certainly gone for the let's try and pick it decision. They think maybe we'll bait them to picking Kestrel or Baron or something like that, and we can just sneak our Alpha in. And they have, Renegades have gone for it. They've gone with what I think Bren Esports wanted them to do, which is pick a carry, pick their Kestrel. And Kestrel, we've talked about it throughout the entire draft. It seems obvious to pick Alpha now. It's great against Kestrel. You could just dive in, and they pick the Finn up. Still got a Crystal Power carry left. There could be something else. They're going to go for the Fortress to counter Kestrel. So that is a more direct counter, but not as strong in the meta. Crystal Fortress did get a pretty significant nerf when 2.9 hit. He got 2% reduction in his damage, and the increased health changes really hurt his bleed proc as well. So it's going to be all on that Vox to deal as much damage as possible. Now the last pick from Renegades, they've got their own Crystal Power jungler to pick. I think somebody like an Ozo could do great against the Fortress. Just jump on those wolves, make it really easy.
Yeah, but one thing for sure, it's that the Mortal Wound definitely will nerf Ozo's healing as well. Granted, Ozo would have a Carney Luck perk, but the Alpha will be picked up by the side of Renegades. Alpha does very well against Fortress in the early game, but your Prime Directive will be quite difficult with all three wolves just around you or around your allies. You might just, misclick, mistap, hit on the wolves, and
you can't Prime Directive on a wolf. I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Pretty sure. Yeah, I think it counts as a lane minion and a petal minion. I think because it's a summon, isn't it? A Fortress Wolves, it counts as summons. So it's like a petal minion. You can't Prime Directive on a wolf, which is really good for Alpha.
Wait, so
it can work well.
I think that's changed because I remembered once I actually Prime Directive on Fortress's wolf.
Maybe it does work like jungle minions then, because it's really odd because lane minions don't work with Prime Directive, jungle minions do, and they count as a summon. You might be right, I might be misremembering, but that would be pretty disastrous for Alpha. She can still gain core charge stacks off wolves anyway, even if she has to wait to Prime Directive until they've all been killed. But that would really be a really tough play for Alpha if she has to wait until all the wolves are dead until she can safely try and Prime Directive.
Yeah, I think you're right, and I'm pretty much wrong there. Apologies in advance because
we're gonna find out. We're gonna find out in this game, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I think you're right because I cannot quite remember as to. But anyways, yeah, I really like this Alpha pickup if that's the case, because you can just jump onto Vox, ignoring that of Fortress, because Fortress in the early game don't quite really have the damage anyways. He will go for the Stormcrown banner into an Aftershock, very much like a Taka. When Fortress gets the Aftershock, it's when the damage, when the cooldowns of the wolves come about, and they can just start, just committing into team fights properly. Whereas when you look over to the side of Renegades, they can just have the very early aggression with that Castro. When I talk about early aggression, not maybe in lane, but probably in jungle, just to starve the fortress out before the 4th-minute mark.
Yeah, I think the Fortress is going to be really quite weak early on. That's how Fortress tends to work. So Stormguard banner is definitely a good pick. I think it's necessary. Don't know if we're going to see the Storm Crown off straight into Aftershock. Aftershock works well against Alpha, works well against Kestrel, and so that is an important buy to get as early as possible. But before 4 minutes in, Alpha can invade at level 2. Alpha's going to win that fight with almost no problems. Even against the Finn, they've got an Arden, which should be fine. Whereas once it gets towards level 5, level 6, that's when Alpha gets really strong. At level 6, she becomes basically the best hero in the game. Alpha at level 6 will beat almost anyone else at an equal gold stand, because that ultimate just gives you so much, gives you damage, gives you 2 lives, forces the enemy to back away from you, and you're normally going to have an Aftershock at that point. But then again, the Sentry is spawned when Alpha hits level 6, so it's way harder to try and steal farm. And if you do secure some kills, you only get maybe a front healing camp from it.
Yeah, definitely. So, into this game, like we mentioned before, Vox do very well against a Castro because of the poison shift pickup. You can just out-sustain a Castro's burst. But we do see how RNG likes to play. They are very aggressive in terms of their movements and, their maneuvers coming into mid-game. But however, we will not be seeing Spaghetti playing on the Castro this time. So we might see a slightly different play style coming out from the side of Renegades, going up against Bren Esports, and whether or not they will just play passive, because I personally think Renegades do understand the enemies they are up against. Bren Esports is no wishy-washy team. They are a team that's very well built, very well synergized as well.
Yeah, I definitely think that it's going to be tough for Renegades. They know what they're up against. They know what they have to do, and it is down to execution. So what are we going to see? Are we going to see Alpha continuing her 100% win streak, going to turn 3 out of 3 into 4 out of 4 for the side of Renegades? Or will Bren Esports, with this carry fortress, Crystal Power Fortress in the jungle, come through and turn it around? Let us know what you think in the chat. Hashtag Ren or hashtag Bren. That's a pretty interesting distinction that you've got between these two teams. I think I'm going to go on the side of Alpha. I think we are mainly on the side of Alpha. And I'm actually really confused as to what happens with Attack of the Pack and Prime Directive. I hope at least one fight happens, which we actually get to see that interaction. But we are now loading into the Halcyon Fold for the first game of the 3rd and 4th place playoff between Bren Esports and Renegades. And so always with level 1 rotation, it's not going to be too aggressive from either side. Fortress doesn't want to go in, and neither does Alpha. Or maybe they do. It looks like Shingy could be going much more aggressive than we've seen Alpha go before.
Yeah, but usually as an aggressive Alpha, you start off with double Crystal Bit. That way you have just got so much more damage on your core charge. But they will just settle for that Elder Treant and will be secured by Uni on that Castro. Guessing tried to steal the Polite Company, but it was a tad too early. And even in the early game, your Polite Company couldn't quite do as much damage as you like. So definitely a very big objective that a lot of teams have been putting emphasis on. But the entirety of Bren Esports will be moving into lane as Uni and Chingy will clear out the jungle together.
Yep, Shingy does seem like Alpha is going to be a hero that he is comfortable on. Shingy likes those assassins, like dive heroes. Alpha works perfectly for that, going in onto the vaults. And yeah, I thought it might be an aggressive 3-man invade start from Renegade, but it was just a 3-man rotation to the Elder Tree and try and secure that over 100 gold for their team, which they did manage to do. Uni, as you said, picked it up. So the gold pretty even because Vox managed to get slightly ahead in lane. Uni took away some of the jungle camps away from Shingy, which means his lane farm isn't as good. SNK doing a little bit of poke. Whipple going to come down from getting X, and Alpha once again able to secure this Elder Treant for himself. And now Shingy just going to rotate back towards the jungle. Uni's taking a little bit of pressure in lane. There is a protector contract on SNK, and he's just trying to blood for blood, do a damage on Mr. Jim. He's doing quite a lot. Whipple does miss. Mr. Jim's going quite low. He's forced to back to the base, and Uni will be happy with that. He wants to back as well. We're going to let this wave equalise. 4 minions v 4 minions. Yeah, everyone backing up.
Yep, and it's quite deceiving actually, Vox's early game damage, because it just drops in ticks. It doesn't drop in, like, say, a glimmer shot. It doesn't chunk down your health. So a lot of times, and we see a lot of players as well, just constantly just standing in a resonance bound zone of Vox in order to just get 1 or 2 creep. I mean, yes, as a laner, that is very, very important, your farm, just to carry yourself into the late game. You really need these extra gold, but you know, just tick damage coming out from Mr. Jim will be quite immense if you just add it all together, and with the amount of minions just, you know, helping Mr. Jim just stay in position, blocking out those glimmer shots coming out from Uni. The laning phase for Uni definitely not an easy one. Mr. Jim though, not settling for a point shift just yet, instead having that and probably going for their broken mid, or rather breaking point.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be either Breaking Point or Solar Blade first on Fox. Works well. There's no real need for the Poison Shiv because there's only an Ardent Vanguard. Mr. Jim's not going to build any kind of sustain. Alpha's only going to have Aftershock for sustain, so no real need to get that mortal wound. You've got Fortress is already going to apply one, and so yeah, the Vox getting one as well would be useful against healers, but as you're not against a healer, there's really no need. You might as well get more damage. Sig one is going to port home back to the base, and Uni's just going to farm the wave up, and again, we're going to see defense. We said that Alpha, interesting glimmer shot from Uni there into the base, into the bush, but we said that Alpha could be aggressive against Fortress early on in this game, but Shingy's gone for the different strategy of just wait till level 6. No need to try and be too aggressive and make mistakes. Just go and farm up. I think it's risky because, as we said, Alpha has a really much stronger early game than Fortress, and so they're putting themselves in all the eggs into the mid to late game basket with Weapon Kestrel, which can work fine, but I think it would have been more secure and more likely to get an earlier win if they'd have gone more aggressive.
Yeah, they just you know, pressure that a Fortress, Sync 1 on this Fortress, it definitely would have the upper hand coming through, but Chingy Prime Directive onto the tower, trying to just put down damage onto that tower, the tier 1 tower right there, but Mr. Jim will come up onto lane as with Sync 1. Now, Sync 1 completing the Storm Guard, or rather Storm Crown now, will put out a little more damage as compared to when he's just got a Storm Guard banner, but you know, even then, Sync 1 cannot quite apply that pressure. He needs that level 6, he needs to get the ultimate, he needs to get that Aftershock as well. This is something that we've talked about before the game even started. And, you know, Chingy can actually deprive Sync 1 of these farm, but Chingy just not playing very, very aggressive, and instead we do see Sync 1 just going into the mid-tree and just removing farm away from Chingy.
Yeah, going to be a little bit of farm stolen away, but really nothing to increase this gold lead at all. And Uni got the Sword Blade, got himself a Weapon Infusion pocketed and a Minion's Foot. This is a good time for Renegade to fight. There's been lots of good times, but this is even better. Aftershock, Ultimate on Shingy, Ultimate Infusion on Uni. We are going to have a fight. There's going to be an engage on Sync 1 on Kestrel. Kestrel pops that Weapon Infusion, and Uni going to get the Vanguard. There's a nice minion wave pushing in for Renegade. That's going to be minion candied by SNK. Sync 1 can take a bit of damage. He's going to be forced to use, not use anything, but use his Packmate's perk to run away. And now Uni pushing this wave a bit further. Shingy, the wave hope will come down. Sync 1 looking to try and get Tooth to Tooth, but not actually going to pop it on Alpha. One shot, a little bit wide. Guessing X able to dodge that away. Now Renegade are trying to seize his tier 1 turret down. He's taking a lot of damage. Uni is poking with those glimmer shots. Shingy's looking for this next wave. As soon as it comes, they're going to try and clear it. Some glimmer shots just to poke away Guessing X. He has got his fountain, so he's not going to be in too much trouble. Alpha was looking for a treant to get some core charge stacks, but it's not up. So Shingy going to be forced to just try and get onto this turret to get any core charge stacks, as Kestrel is glimmer shotting from afar. Tier 1 turret. Going low, Shingy going to get, dodging the wait for it actually, but it's going to take a little bit of damage trying to siege down this tier 1 turret, and Uni is going so aggressive with this Kestrel, so forward positioning. Alpha is now going to get that healing minion to try and get some core charge stacks, but I think Sync 1 knows that the Alpha's there. Now Alpha, 3 core charge stacks, where's the Prime Directive? He needs to do it quickly, he's going to run out, and he is going to go with the core charge in. There's Prime Directive, misses, everyone splits, and Needle Alpha going to go into reboot, does use the Terminating Protocol, but will it be enough lovely Vanguard to keep him alive? But somehow he goes down. Vox just barely gets the first blood before Kestrel does. Now Uni received Fountain. SNK was so low, but he survives, fountaining himself. Uni one shot once again is not going to hit. Somehow that fight lasted a full minute because Uni managed to do 2 one-shots.
Yep, and I mean, Uni on this Kestrel definitely played well. A lot of aggression onto lane. But like you mentioned before, Chingy really needs to just juggle that core charge into the prime directive. That is where your bulk of your damage is. And if you cannot juggle and try to balance that out, then generally as an alpha, you will just want to consider just using your aftershock proc. That is just not enough damage considering the amount of health coming through on guessing, or rather the amount of fortified health that guessing X on this Finn can actually provide. And we think about this, right? Another fight will be breaking up. Maybe not, but
You have a little bit of poking lane. Shingy going to go in. One core charge stack has been got. There's a second. Shingy going very low. They're going to have to use the ultimate. No, you're going to go off. Yes, you are. Somehow Shingy does manage to get the ult, and there's going to be a Vanguard from Arden. Not onto the Shingy though. Shingy's going to be okay. Rebooting. Lovely gauntlet. Going to come down, and Alpha gets the Fortress. Uni is so low on the back line. Going to get some glimmer shots. Missing out on Mr. Gem, and the Resonance bounce picks up the kill onto Uni. Slightly poor positioning from the members of Renegade. They're letting their Kestrel die to bounces. Now Shingy has not got any ultimate available. There's going to be a prime directive. He wants to get guessing X. He thinks he's not going to get Mr. Jim, which is fair enough. He gets the Finn, tries to prime directive away, but there's nothing. He's just going to get a bit of damage onto Mr. Jim. Not an ace. Well played by Shingy. One shot block from Mr. Jim does manage to keep him alive, and he's going to push the wave into turret and back off. No Crucible was available for SNK at that time, so the Force Core did land, but it wasn't really that much of a problem for Shingy.
Yeah, but now Sinquan looking over on that little fortress there. You do see he's just inching closer to the aftershock. In fact, if he do go to shop now, he can just easily pick up the aftershock for himself. But the first turret of that of Bren Esports will fall. So overall, we still do see a gold lead going over to the side of Bren Esports, and only that's because of the initial kills and basically maybe the rotations coming out as well. But Uni definitely playing very well on this Castro, but there was just one part of the team fight, like you mentioned, just mispositioning coming out from Uni, and that is quite questionable. But Chingy even going in, just not quite putting out enough damage. Although we might, we do see, generally Alpha plays very, very well against that of Fox because of the amount of burst with your core charges in your prime directive. But we see that Uni just lack that. I don't want to say lack burst because it's quite obvious that he has got the burst, but just lack damage for some odd reason, probably because of the fortified health coming through from Finn.
Yeah, Uni didn't seem to have that much damage, mainly because he didn't land that many glimmer shots onto Jim. He got quite a few on Sync 1. But Mr. Jim managed to dodge out most of the glimmer shots that Uni was throwing out. Uni going to walk towards that second Tyrant. Still can't quite afford it. No Tornado Trigger as the third item for Uni. So that is a slightly different Kestrel build. Maybe trying to kite Vox in a 1v1. As opposed to just trying to burst him down with those glimmers. And Alpha farming up pretty well, still an aftershock, and double tier 2 defense for Shingy. Really wants to survive this reboot without needing to get a clockwork.
Yep, another, just lane pressure coming up from Bren Esports now. However, unable to push this turret down. They do not quite have the wave, but Mr. Jim will be out farming, just trying to clear this wave and hopefully push this one out. Force Accord comes through, but will be blocked out by SNK.
Yep, Shingy has picked up an Atlas at the shop. This is going to be in, and there's going to be the gauntlet, a bit wasted though from SNK. It's not actually going to stun anyone up. Uni going very low from the. That's his stun, going to be blocked up by the Crucible, and Alpha is going low. He's going to survive that basic attack from Vox. But Alpha's still got the termination protocol available. So Shingy looking to push down this wave with Uni. And what is going to be the play? What they're going to do? They're going to try and fight or push. It looks like they're going to go for the push strategy. They're going to try and take this turret, and this is going to be a fight. Bren Esports know what's going on. Kestrel's going to try and go on the backside, take this turret down. Turret will fall, but what is going to happen in response? Uni is going to go down himself to Sync 1, most likely. Sync 1 using that healing flask, and will be able to get the kill. Alpha does go down into me, but will he survive? Yes, but will it be enough? No. Double kill for the Fortress, and in the end, 2 turrets go down to Renegades, but will it be worth it? Because Bren Esports can probably get a gold mine and a turret here.
They can try for this gold mine, or maybe SNK with that minion candy.
Once again, that's the twice SNK has done this. Gone for the minion candy on the gold mine. Vox gets the turret, but minion candy is doing so much more. One guys, a one shot onto Guessing X, and what is by Fortress just to secure the kill. But that gold mine's still candied. So well played by SNK. Takes his own life. Just so Alpha, you should Prime Directive. Oh, Alpha didn't use it. We're not going to find out yet. But SNK took his own life, saved the fountain in the Crucible, so that he could put a candy on the gold mine. And so in the end, Renegades were ahead. They lost 3 kills, but they got 2 turrets, whereas Bren Esports only got 1.
Yeah,
well played by SNK.
Yeah, but the goal lead to still go over to the side of Bren Esports. It is not a lot. It is about, say, 400. Yeah, approx 300-400 gold to the side of Bren Esports. But overall, I want to say the items-wise, Mr. Jim definitely coming out on top versus Uni. Mr. Jim is sitting on the shift, breaking point. Oh.
So here we go, there's going to be a fight. Men's got pale, does trigger the fight. That's going to be a silence on Alpha, and she misses her Prime Directive onto anyone. She could be in a bit of trouble now, but full score does land, but that's where Alpha wants to be. Kestrel gets killed onto a Vox, and the Prime Directive does not land onto anyone. It missed it. I think it went through a Wolf, so I think that does solve the argument, but we need to check the replay to be sure. Another Prime Directive does not quite connect, and there's nothing for Renegade to take, though. They got a kill, and now what are they going to do? They're going to get a kill into Guessing X, I guess, but Goldmine was taken. They're nowhere near the Tier 3 turret, and the sentries on the other side of the map as well.
Yeah, I think they should have just ignored Guessing X and probably just push for that Tier 3 turret, but then we are seeing them do it now. Uni just started stepping and clearing those minions. Sync1 and Mr. Jim trying to hold lane for as long as possible. The wave is just going down very, very quickly. Sync1 maybe looking for something, maybe not.
Yeah, that's the problem. The Renegade really wanted to get something out of that. Uni and Shingy wanted to try and get an objective out of the 2 kills, but they were just on the wrong side of the map to do so. So that means they're going to have to back off towards their own jungle, be happy with the kills, know that they can win the fight if they do get in that situation. And Uni has gone for the stuff step build. He's gone for Tornado Trigger Tyrants and a breaking point. What do you think about this pickup for Kestrel?
Well, it is not high crit. If Uni will not rely on those glimmer shots, then the basic attack will hit like a truck. So that is one thing maybe we have to understand, because of the amount of dives coming through from the side of Bren Esports. Maybe Uni thinks that he cannot just stand and shoot like a caster, right? And instead he just needs to start to step his way out of team fights, and with the breaking point coming up,
does come through. Full score does hit onto Shingy. Fox stacking up that breaking point a little bit, and Shingy's going to quite low. Echo on the full does hit Shingy in, and that's going to be Prime Directive through. Gauntlet comes down, and Fortress gets the kill onto Kestrel in the end. Alpha can use the ultimate, does get a lot of damage onto Sync1, but he will Alpha now. Will get taken down by the Fortress. SNK is the last one left alive. What can he do? He can run. He can run for quite a while. He could even pick up some extra boots if he wanted to. No, he can't afford extra boots anymore. And so that means SNK going to run towards Sentry. He's got 10 seconds. Will it be enough? Sync1 is going up. He echoed the Vanguard to try and survive for 5 more seconds to defend the ace. Will it be enough? He's by Sentry. No, it will not. Ace for Bren Esports. Uni is up though. So there's going to be a one attempt to steal this Kraken. I doubt it will come through, but you never know. Uni's probably going to go to the top of the lane, try and snap this one away. And Bren Esports have to just body block. There we go.
Yeah. I mean, we have a Finn, quite a large body mass there for that block, and Uni not even trying. Oh, there you go. The one directly on Guessing X on that Finn. But we see that the fortified health really keeping the entirety of Bren Esports together, and thus I guess that's why Bren Esports don't want to quite ban out that Alpha, because it's not quite a threat to them at all. They know of a way to
Kestrel, Uni was farming his jungle, and he was almost going to get caught up, but uses the boots to get away. That was a bit too close for comfort for Uni. He's now going to pick up himself an infusion, but has not got boots available for this Kraken push. And Bren Esports able to get the tier 2 turret for free because of that, because of Uni just farming up for no apparent reason. And now Bren Esports pushing, trying to look for the win, I reckon. Force Cord easily blocked, but there's the Echo going to be used. He wants to get Uni with this Force Cord, and it's not going to be used quite yet. Guessing it's just waiting for that risk. There is. There's going to be a Force Cord, great, and a Force Cord on the Gauntlet as well. Echo comes down, Voxing gets stunned up by the Gauntlet. Mr. Jim taking a lot of damage, but he's going to do even more onto Uni. Uni falls. Sync1 is going to get left alive. Mr. Jim did fall in the end to Shingy, and Shingy's like, you know what, I'm just going to go. Let me get this ace. 1 kill onto the Finn, and now Alpha's going to turn her attention back to the Kraken. She's probably going to get this one touch. She's going to get this one touch, and possibly even the next one.
Yeah, Kraken just so very tanky in this current update. It's so difficult to just bring Helga down, especially with an alpha that you do not quite do, enough basic attack damage. A lot of your damage will come from your abilities, but with Uni around, yep, they will be able to take the Kraken down, Helga down, before she takes that turret. But in that team fight, we see Mr. Jim just building up so much stack in such short period of time, and then you have Uni just struggling so hard to build stacks, and before even she's just bursted down. And Sync 1, being there just not helping at all. Alpha don't quite have a very direct form of peel. What the Alpha can provide in a lot of team fight is going into far front and just force your entire enemy, force the team lineup from the enemy just to target you, and then you just go bang in their faces. Hopefully your backlines can just do an insane amount of damage and just score that ace for you, right? So that's what Alpha can provide. It's a very indirect form of peeling, but it works out. But SNK just very, very low, but will survive through the onslaught coming out from Kraken.
Yeah, SNK's fine. He can survive. He can survive the Kraken. You've got Shingy and Uni that can tank for you. Uni is now fully built completely. Doesn't need any more farm. So this lane should be going to Shingy really if you're being a nice laner, and you should give your jungler farm whenever they need to be fully built. So Shingy has got that aftershock into Dragon's Eye, not going for any kind of pierce despite the Aegis on Vox. So going for more damage oriented, and Bren Esports going for the gang. Alpha, no, he gets the triple prime directive with absolute fine. That's a block on to the Atlas. Now there's going to be a lovely gauntlet and a second gauntlet. Sync 1 is stuck in between a gauntlet and another one. And now Alpha needs to use the ultimate. Is going to do it in time. There's prime directive going in onto Fox. Going to get the ultimate onto Fortress instead, and that's going to be Shingy doing massive damage. Uni's going to be staying alive. Kraken is pushing down on the base. They're going to chase down Mr. Jim. Kraken's going to get the win if they don't get the kill anyway. Mr. Jim's going to try and port. I doubt he'll be able to. There's a scout trap. There's a crystal sentry. Alpha's going for the win, and Renegade. Oh, in fact, no, Mr. Jim's going to kill on to Uni. I thought Uni was going to be able to do it, but now Captain Sneak kill to SNK with the plays on the Arden. That will be game most likely, but actually Sync 1 is up in 20 seconds, so maybe he can defend it, but Renegade is playing so well.
I honestly don't think, Sync 1 can, defend against this both Chingy and the Kraken alone. I mean, he just lacks damage, to be completely honest. And that was prime example of good positioning coming out from Uni in that team fight. A Venn diagram dropped by Arden, and after which Uni just entered the second one away from the carry of Bren Esports, or rather away from Volks, and then just kited everyone from there. Basically started stepping everyone from there, building up a lot of breaking point stacks, and from there just put out so much damage that, Volks had to make the run. If not, Volks was just easily gave away the ace. So overall, very well played coming out from RNG, but I believe